Thousands saw it firsthand. Millions of Americans watched it on live TV. But the shockwaves of September 11th would reverberate far beyond the borders of America in the months and years that followed. At first, many worldwide expressed sympathy, but the U.S. president wanted action. His view of the world and the U.S. role in it changed on that day.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Our war against terror is only beginning.
George Bush changed how American aid was spent, using it to recruit allies in his war on terror.
I want to thank you for working with the United States in the war on terror.
Countries that had seen little U.S. support received an influx of cash. Leaders the U.S. had refused to talk to because of human rights abuses suddenly became friends.
It's my honor to welcome a friend.
One example, Pakistan. Almost completely blocked from getting U.S. money because of its nuclear program and the military coup that put Pervez Musharraf in power, in the 3 years leading up to 9/11, it received about $9 million from Washington. In the 3 years that followed, it found itself enjoying the benefits of $4.7 billion in military aid alone. And in Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, who for nearly 15 years was labeled a pariah by the U.S., gave up parts of his nuclear weapons program and pledged to join the so-called war on terror. He then gained valuable access.
There's a central contradiction in the war on terror, is you can call it a crusade for freedom or that it's really about promoting democracy, but the reality is it pushed the United States into closer cooperation with the security forces, the intelligence agencies, and the governments in a number of autocratic places.
Bush supporters argue that while some of the money went to governments that were controlled by dictators, the U.S. also spent money on democracy programs in those very same countries.
Most of the regimes in the world are run by bad guys. Some of those bad guys are more open to American assistance and American influence than others.
A point the president often highlighted.
There's something healthy about people campaigning, saying this is what I'm for.
Much of the emphasis, and about $175 million over a decade, was spent promoting democracy in the occupied Palestinian territories. An election was held in 2006, and Hamas won a majority of the seats. The Bush administration refused to recognize it.
The United States does not support political parties that want to destroy our ally Israel.
But around the globe, U.S. dollars continued to be used to find friends in the fight against al-Qaeda, even under a new president.
I've come here to Cairo to seek a new beginning.
But even with millions going to keep their people in power, people on the streets were able to bring some of them down. Those still there are still getting paid for their help.
There will be times when our short-term interests don't align perfectly with our long-term vision for the region.
In a conflict under a new president, no longer called the war on terror, but still being fought and funded in much the same way. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.